Speak up.
Yeah, you got to sit.
On the evening of May 24th, 1991, I held my newly born daughter in my arms and I said the following words. One day, I'll be walking you down the aisle. That day has arrived, finally. And just as I was proud then to become a father for the very first time, I am no less proud today to give away Katie in marriage to Ross, whose responsibility it is now to love her and care for her, just as Carol and I have done these last 24 years. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Carol and I would like to welcome you. Thank you for accepting our invitation to Katie and Ross's wedding. Thank you for making this a special day. Not just for me and Carol, but also for Katie and Ross. And we are very aware that many of you have travelled long distances, and for that we are extremely grateful. A special welcome to David Avro, Leslie and Alistair, and all Ross's family and friends who have made those distances to get here. We thank you for the Scottish influence you have given us, through the dress, the music, and even the weather. A very big thank you to everyone who's helped out to make this day really special. Too many to mention, but thank you. Thank you also to the Whitby Park staff who have been so helpful these last 2 years. Liaising with us and Katie. And thank you also for Whitby Park for sending an invoice to Carol. You see, I have an unfair reputation for being a little on the tight side when it comes to money. That stems from the time when we took baby Katie on her first holiday to Bournemouth, when I took £15 cash in my pocket and I came back with £5. She did enjoy her ice cream. Special thank you to the chef for sticky toffee pudding. Not only is it my favourite food, but it's done a wonderful job of keeping my dentures intact. I must say, it's an absolutely wonderful experience in bringing Katie up as parents. She's been no trouble whatsoever. In fact, I can honestly say that she's not added one grey hair to my head. Any colour would look nice. There's been a few hot stopping moments, but nothing serious. But I just remember one time when, as a toddler, she was playing and we were watching TV, and all of a sudden I noticed that it was too quiet for comfort. And on an investigation, I found her halfway up the stairs, quietly singing to herself with Carol's handbag on her lap and with a white papery dust around her mouth. Thinking that she'd been eating Carol's paracetamols, I quickly got Carol out and to do a check, and thankfully it was just Treeball mints. There was always a caring side to Katie, and that's lasted right down today. Many of you know she's a nurse. But at the same time, when she was about 2 or 3 years old, I was ill in bed with the flu. I've been in bed all week. And when she was going to bed one night, she asked Mummy if they could pray for me, which I thought was lovely. Mummy asked, what exactly shall we pray about? And with a thoughtful look on her face, after a brief moment, she said, Daddy's smelly socks. Many of you know Katie has encountered a number of health issues over the years, including diabetes, more recently ME. But like most things in her life, she has dealt with them with fantastic determination, and as parents, we are incredibly proud of Katie. And I'm sure many of you will share my sentiments in saying that today she's looking absolutely beautiful. Then, about 3 years ago, on a Saturday night when me and Carol was watching TV, Katie came home from a night out.
Oh, no.
And all of a sudden she came with the phrase, oh, by the way, I've met someone. But it won't come to anything because he's a Royal Marine and he lives in Edinburgh. Thankfully it did come to something. And we're pleased to welcome Ross into our house. He's been part of the family for a number of years now. And he soon found out where we hid the bacon in the fridge. But he did show signs of consideration when I realised that never once did he pinch my nut roast that were Many of you know Katie and Ross are setting up home in the small town of London. It's a bit out of the way for some of us, more so than others. But as the American entertainer George Burns once said, happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family living in another city. Carol and I could not have wished for a more caring, intelligent, hard-working, beautiful daughter. Neither could we have wished for a more thoughtful, adventurous, brave, handsome son-in-law.
You do have a son as well.
Yeah, we never made that criteria.
Not the handsome bit anyway.
We are very proud of them both, and with these things in mind, I invite you to stand with us and drink to the health and happiness of the bride and groom. To Katie and Ross. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you, Andy. In giving this speech, I'm going to follow the principle of 3 Bs. Be sincere, be brief, and be seated. First of all, I'd like to thank Susanna and Lisa, our 2 fabulous bridesmaids today. They've done sterling work in helping Katie in the build-up to the wedding and getting her through today relatively stress-free. I'm doubly proud that Ross asked me to be his best man and that I'm his dad. However, I'm actually more than doubly proud. I'm actually trebly proud because now I have the privilege of being able to say to Katie, daughter-in-law, perfect. When I saw her in church today, I thought, how beautiful she looked. I said to Ross, you're a lucky guy. As I stood beside him, I realised at that point, well, I'd realised a long time ago, but I realised yet again that what a fine young man Ross had become, from that wee boy that I remember playing football with, to the man he's become today. However, As a child, he was exceptionally accident prone. I'd like to share a couple of incidents with you. Just before he started primary school, he was out on his bike, cycling as fast as he could along a dirt track, and did the most spectacular face plant you could imagine. So the first school photograph has got the grazed face, the swollen lip, and that'll live with you forever. Second incident, well, one of many, but the second one of note was playing hockey on the patio at the back of the house. Ross is fully dressed in hard hat, knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards, and he's on rollerblades. He's got a hockey stick, I've got an upturned walking stick. So Dad hits the ball, it clips off a raised flagstone, shot up, hit him right in the mouth, burst his lips. That was the end of that game. More tears, more snotty noses. Fine, okay, that was fine. I think at that point we realised that Ross would meet somebody involved in nursing and marry them. So, as Ross grew up, he joined the BBs in Curry, where he stayed from age of 5 until 18, where he gained the Queen's Badge. Not a lot of people managed to achieve that, but Ross did. Then the general. Well, a lot of people here, so not a lot of people. 2 in a room with all these numbers. Great. He then moved on, he got a job, left school, and decided he wanted to join the Royal Marines, which he did. And at that point, he had the good fortune to meet Katie on a night out. And it was obvious, by the way he spoke about her, that she was really special to him. Yeah. Now, we saw some cards round the tables, things you might not know about Ross. Things you might not know about Ross is that he shares his birthday with Scotland's national bard, Rabbie Burns. And when he was born, we stayed in Robert Burns Drive. Also, you all know, that the national emblem of Scotland is the thistle. The national emblem of England is the red rose. And I'd like to give you just this as a token, not token, but to symbolise this union of the thistle and the rose.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dave.
In closing, I'd like to quote, not sing, but quote from one of Rabbie Burns' most famous poems, or songs, for those who like it sung. It's, "Oh my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. In Katie, Ross has met his beautiful English rose." Thank you very much.
I was actually going to do a rap, but then I got told that we're not doing a rap, so we cancelled that. So I'll start with the traditional, and you can all cheer. On behalf of my wife and I, I'd just like to welcome everyone that's come on today. I know that people have travelled from far and wide to be here. Obviously, as Andy said, I stole my line. Yeah, the Scottish folk have brought the weather with them. Just moving on, again, just to reiterate some points, just to thank everyone that's made the day happen. Just the team here today have done a really good job. I know that Katie was getting a bit stressed out because she couldn't come in and set the place up herself. So she was taking photos of everything and sent it all in, and they've done a really, really good job of getting everything sorted out today. If you take a look at your table, you'll see little shortbreads. Has everyone got them or eaten them? That was Katie's mum, Carol, that made them, and she spent 10 hours in the kitchen frantically baking them. She did have a little accident and dropped them, smashed a whole batch, and I was disappointed because she threw them in the bin. She didn't go. Yeah, that's the bin. I'd also like to thank Lynn and Mel for doing the flowers for today. Yeah, it was a massive help, and they looked lovely. Yeah, you were totally on side with that and came around, took time out of your, time out for us and did that. It was perfect. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, a little bit. And just other people, this day couldn't happen without. Obviously, my dad and stepmom and my mum and stepdad they've both helped contribute a lot. The videographer, the photo booth that we've got, things like that. That's all coming from them. That's they've helped finance that. So they're really, really grateful. Everyone's got a voucher for a drink as well on the table. So that's from my dad and his wife. That's yeah. Have you used it? Have you? Oh, you didn't get one. We knew you probably had 12 drinks already, so we thought. Obviously, that's for our drink, not a bottle of whiskey. I'm looking at the Marines at the back for that. Yeah, and just thanks for all the gifts that we've already received and that we've yet to receive. And I don't know if any of you saw our special bouncing around little bundle of joy gift, Mac, who we got from Katie's auntie and uncle as a wedding present. He's 9 months old now. Yeah, that's without doubt, yeah, one of the best presents we've ever had. He's fantastic. Yeah, we always knew that we wanted Mac from the day. There was 14 to choose from, and then we got him home and he started to cry. And then Katie started to cry because Mac was crying. And then I started to cry because I couldn't get to sleep. I'd just like to say as well, how hard Katie's worked. All the invites that everyone got, all the stationery, all the sort of the seating plans, the sweetie bar, everything was obviously done by her under my guidance. I did try to help quite a lot, and it's like, how to describe it is sort of me trying to explain rugby to her, as her trying to explain how to cut stuff in a craft machine to me. And I did get shouted at a few times for making silly suggestions. But yeah, I mean, you've worked so hard, and I'm really, really proud of you. And our spare bedroom has been the dumping ground for all the wedding stuff in the last probably about a year, so we can actually have people right to stay now. So if anyone would like to come and visit us, you're more than welcome. I'll tell you about, as Andy said, how me and Katie met. Obviously it was weather a bit like this. It was the 16th of March, and I met Katie in a club. And so one of my mates said to her, "Where do you think she's from?" And she said, "Oh, I think he's from Liverpool." So I decided then, I'm not sure if I like her, because it's a bit cheeky. So I got her back and I said, "Oh, would you like a drink?" And she said, oh yeah, please. Just have a rosy wine. So I bought her Sambuca, which she hates. And then obviously we kind of got separated at the end of that night. And then I thought, oh well, that's that, I'm never going to see her again. And then a few days later, someone popped up on Facebook. And I was like, oh, she's deciding to stalk me a little bit. I thought, I can't blame her. And yeah, to her credit as well, our managed to find me on Facebook because I didn't tell her name was Ross, I said my name was George. So, yeah, she found me on Facebook, and I thought, oh, I'll leave it a few days, keep her keen, and then I might as a friend. I think it lasted about half an hour. Then we started to chat, and it went straight from there. And then obviously our relationship blossomed. I decided, I'm going to ask her to marry me. And I had it all worked out. I had the ring for maybe a couple of months. And I was like, I had a bit of a bad knee at the time as well. I had another injury. I had a torn ligament in my knee. And she'd been at first sort of nursing me back to health, and then she decided that she was a bit sick and tired of me having this sore knee all the time. So we were sat in the room, and we were mucking around a little bit, and I pretended to fall off the bed. And then I was down and I went, my knee. And that was when she was meant to come over, and I was going to be there on one knee with the ring. Except she went, I'm sick of hearing about your knee, get up. So that it still worked, and she was still obviously, she was very, very happy with me.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. There's also things that our family and friends will tell you. Although Katie's a brunette, she should really be a blonde. So, yeah, just recently, the other month in January, we went to Bristol for my birthday, and we're going to go on a night out. So we've been out for a nice meal. We're all dressed up, got in a taxi, got into town, get to the club. Two sort of doormen are there. I walked straight in because I look haggard. And they go to her, have you got ID? And she's like, yep. Opened up her purse, pulled out her, what was it? Boots Advantage card. But she just paid something like 15 quid for a taxi, and they were going to have to go back and then come back in again. But luckily, they saw that I had hard paper around, so they let us both in. I think they felt sorry for me. And then sort of one of the things that made me definitely know that Katie was a girl for me was one night I was led astray by Mr. White there. We went out and then he was down next to her, and I got very, very drunk. And Katie came to pick me up, and she found me pretty much lying in the street. And she managed to get me home, and somehow she managed to carry me all 16 stone of me up the stairs. And that's when I thought, you know, if she's prepared to drag me up the stairs, then yeah, she's got to be the one for me. She did, however, throw me out of bed that night, and I've got a scar to prove it as well. No, I just obviously like to take this time to thank both sets of parents for the job you've done at raising me. Obviously, I'm a sort of model citizen. Don't do anything untowards. Yeah, but you've always been there for me, and yeah, it's been great to have you down today. It's fantastic. Also, Dad as well, for being my best man. You know, meant to really be there for me on the day, help me get ready and everything. So this morning I turned up they've got a lodge down there. I turned up nice and early, about 9 o'clock. Oh, where's Dad? Yeah, he's out walking the dog. I was like, all right. Got loads of time. Gets to about 10 o'clock, still not back. I said, how long has he been gone? Well, he left at 6:45 this morning. I was like, where's he walking him to? So then she gets a phone call. I'm lost. That's true. And you know, you can laugh, but a lot of recruits go up on Woodbury and they do get lost. And by the time I found him, it would have probably taken about an hour and a half to walk back to where he was from. And I thought it was hilarious, but I think he's still to make it up to you, hasn't he? We were getting a bit worried. The dog was fine, though. He's knackered. He's still. I think you should really be asleep as well. Probably knackered. Just if we take a look behind you at some point tonight, there's a charity tin out there, and that's for the brain cancer charity. And yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a challenge for that. So whatever money we raise tonight for it, we'll convert that weight into pound coins. So say it's 100 quid. All that weight in pound coins, I'll then carry it in the backpack. So 100 quid's not going to be very much in weight. So we'll start. I'll take 30 pounds as a default in weight, and then whatever we earn in cash, we'll convert it into pound coins, and I'll carry that weight for 30 miles as a bit of a challenge for the charity. To start that charity tin off, there's a few fines to be paid. First fine is you for getting lost, that's £5. Second fine, Mr. White didn't have any gloves to go with his blues, that's £5. I can see a few faces going down at the back there. Mr. Jason Darlington, give everyone a wave. He didn't have a belt for his lovets. He also didn't have any gloves for his blues, so that's £10, mate. So actually I had to go all around camp and everything because it's shut for leave. There's no one there. I had to go around knocking on doors trying to find kit for these lads. But I should have been at home pulling my boot. There's also one other offender. Last night, 2 o'clock in the morning, someone happened to mention about changing into Berry in the evening. Mr. Dan Hartland doesn't have a berry. Luckily I sorted him out as well, like I've been doing for years, mate. I've been sorting out. £5. Also, anyone that's sort of looking to buy me a drink tonight, maybe just put the money in the tin because I'm on warnings not to drink too much. I know that all of you that have been out with me before know I don't really drink, so...
I've seen your fridge.
Yeah.
I'm not on the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was another thing today that I actually went to a lot of effort for the wedding, and Katie didn't use it. What it was empty bottles of champagne and bottles of beer and everything, and she sprayed all the bottles, and we were going to use them in the church. But then she decided not to use them, and obviously someone had to drink them, and she was just there forcing me every night, saying, "You need to drink these." And I was, begging, saying, "Please don't." I'm not really a drinker. Yeah. But just in closing, I'd like everyone to raise a glass. Just first to just how beautiful Katie looks today, yeah, and just how much of a fantastic job she's done. Yeah. Secondly, to her mum and dad, this wouldn't have been made possible if it wasn't for you and Carol's checkbook. Andy I know Andy doesn't know his PIN number on the back machine. Yeah, and both sets of parents here. Yeah, really fantastic effort from everyone. Thanks. And to you, yeah, thanks loads. So, this is for you. Cheers. I don't want to see anyone without a drink in their hand all night. And remember, I'm on orange juice.